So while I was going through the YouTube comments recently, I noticed one guy complaining about my audio quality in recordings. And luckily, as I'm an aging white dude, I found new hobbies. No, God, no! I meant audio equipment. So the comment mentioned something along the lines of my recordings being too noisy. So I listened in and yes, I mean, you can hear a bit of fan hum and a tiny bit of amp noise. But I suspect what the person was really referring to was my hammering on the keyboard. And the thing is, I'm not even using mechanical keyboards. I'm using these cheap and cheerful German cherry keyboards. Because in younger days, when I was a bit angry, those used to fly around the room sometimes. So I went with cheap keyboards. I just developed the habit of hammering onto those keys so that I'd actually hit those and trigger those with those cheap keyboards. So much so that in university days, some professors requested me to type quieter. So, but yeah, that's what you hear in the background. And now that I think about it, clearly the person was complaining about that sound, which I can understand. It's not the nicest sound. It's not that hefty oomph that you get with a mechanical keyboard. So what can I do? Well, of course, I could go out and buy a mechanical keyboard that sounds more substantial. But then again, they are expensive. I'm not sure that they can take as much abuse as these things do. And I would kind of feel bad using a super expensive keyboard to do the stuff that I do. So instead, of course, I went the sensible route. Brought in a bit of audio gear to mic up this keyboard that I'm using. So of course, the very first thing that comes to mind is this, and do not mind this jerry-rig contraption here. I've just kind of lost this clamp. And also this is kind of a shock mount, so let's roll with it. Old biodynamic mic, just took it up straight into the Focusrite, and let's see how that sounds. Okay, XLR cable, of course miles too long. All right, let's hear how that sounds. Really, really insensitive. But I think I've got a signal there. So let's head over to the editor and type something. All right, that is not too bad, especially when I'm typing up here close to the mic. However, the further I get away from this, the less I like the sound of this, less fat it sounds. Let's try something. I've got my trusty old Zoom recorder, which I remembered could be used as an effects processor. So let's try wiring this in between the mic and the audio interface and see if we can dial in some effects in here. Good bit of hum coming in through there. So let's add an effect to this one. Robot. Oh, I'm picking up my voice. Okay, let's type here. Okay, this is funny. However, this mic is picking up my voice, so I'm really sounding like an alien. And also, I'm still having that issue that if I type here, close to the mic on the keyboard, everything is super. However, if I get away from this, I'm losing a bit of signal strength. So, what do we do about this? So I've recently been watching Wintergatan, and Martin has been using those triangular contact mics by a Swedish company called Erlund, I think. However, those things retail at around 400 to 500 bucks. So of course, I went with the cheap route and got this gooey thing here, which is a piezo pickup for guitars or ukuleles. Comes with this gooey glue, and you put it on some surface that resonates that you want to pick up. And well, this keyboard kind of resonates when I type on it. So with a bit of luck, I might find a good spot where to put this. So I now press this pickup really firmly onto the keyboard using this, I don't know, acoustic chewing gum or whatever glue thing. I hope it holds up. And let's feed this thing into the Zoom with the effects chain. Let's hear how that sounds. That sounds really aggressive. Okay, let's type something without the effects on. I'm loving this. Okay, let's add an effect. Just loving this. You can hear when I'm typing closer to the pickup, of course it's louder like this. And when I'm farther away, it's a bit slower. However, this is not picking up my voice. And I think I also cranked this up too loud. Let's just dial it back. Yeah. Okay, I like where this is going. The robot effect is just a fancy thing. Let's dial in something more sensible. Maybe this one. The takes out a good bit of bass that this pickup has. And also you can really hear me caress my keyboard. ASMR and Tagma, here we come. What we're missing now is, I think, the mouse. We do not hear that really when we click and move it around. So luckily, I still had this lying around, super ancient old Rode video mic, which is a shotgun mic, which I think is a neat mic to pick up this mouse. So let's wire this up. And of course, this needs shitloads of adapters. And of course, I only got the cheapest ones. So we get a bit of crackle and hum in there. Why not? Maybe need to switch on the mic. This is so stupid. Okay, let's see. This is the mouse moving and this is the mouse clicking. Okay, that's working nicely. Let's also start typing. Yeah, and I think that kind of works. Maybe dial this up a little, just a tad. Yeah, and I think we're there. With only a Zoom abused as an effects processor, a ukulele pickup, an ancient Rode video mic, a Focusrite audio interface, my trusty old voice mic, a channel strip, and that's already it. We built, I think, the perfect audio chain for tutorial recording. So yeah, I think the noise is now truly an instrument. And also what I figured out is that if I crank up the gain on this pickup to a grotesque amount, that's the shitty noise that you hear, I can use this keyboard, if I yell into it,
as a mic for voice recording, as a really, really bad mic, that is. Maybe that's a good idea to just use this keyboard here to record our tutorials in the next season. Yeah, maybe we should do that. So yeah, thanks so much for pointing out the audio quality issues that I had. And I think I now successfully fixed it with this amazing hack. If you guys like what we're doing, want to support us, want to see more in-depth premium tutorials on how to wreck your audio, you might want to support us on Patreon. And to everyone already supporting us, thanks so much for doing so, with a very, very special thank you going out to Important Looking Pirates, Chris Hebert, and Rafika Nodal. Thanks so much, guys. So, until next time, it's cheers and goodbye.
So that's how it must feel to be a true rock star.